What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog. We're back in Historic with a Rakdos list. So this one we got a Cruel Reality, super sweet enchantment from Amonkhet block. 7 mana, pretty expensive. Aura Curse, sounds pretty cool. Enchant player. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature or a planeswalker. If they can't, they lose 5 life. So super powerful effect, especially with all the good removal we have in Rakdos colors. But it's super expensive, so you do need some ways to kind of get there. And we also have a Captive Audience. Just as a one-of, obviously doesn't really work well in multiple, so just having one-of. Also another really expensive enchantment spell at 7 mana. But when it comes down, your opponent has to comes down on under the control of your opponent, and then at the beginning of their upkeep, they have to choose one of these 3 options that has not already been chosen. So they can choose to have the life total become 4. They can choose to discard their hand, or they can choose to have your opponent, that's going to be you, make 5/2/2 black zombie creature tokens. So they choose one, then they choose the other one, then they choose a third one. So eventually you're going to get them down to 4 life and have them discard their hand, and you're going to get 5/2/2 zombies. So they just get to choose the order, but either way it's going to be good for you, especially if you can kind of not die during those three turns. Which so we're trying to play lots of removal and controlling and get to that late game where you can kind of cast these and things like that. Alright, so we have 4 of Chainer's Edict. Target player sacrifice a creature. So if you're playing auras or any hexproof type effects, we don't care. We're going to make you sacrifice your creature. And we're a late game deck, so we can flash it back for 7 mana and make you do it again. So super sweet. 4 Angrath's Rampage. Kind of the same thing, except we can also hit artifacts or planeswalkers. So main deck, flexible removal, pretty fantastic. 3 of Davriel. It's a planeswalker, can be a distraction for your opponent's aggro list. Can also make them discard maybe some removal or an Embercleave or some of their might be more expensive spells if they're just doing some aggro style shenanigans. A couple copies of Phyrexian Arena. Obviously we like to see these consistently, but not too consistently because we are a late game deck and sometimes the one life every turn can kind of add up more than we like, so just 2 copies here. 3 copies here of Bedevil, being able to target removal for artifacts, creatures, or planeswalkers, pretty sweet. A couple copies of Ill-Gotten Inheritance, balances out the arena and also is a win condition with Captive Audience. If they go down to 4 life, well, you can just pay 6 mana, activate your Ill-Gotten Inheritance, and you gain 4, they lose 4, and you can kill them. A couple copies here of Languish as a main deck sweeper. 4 copies of Vraska Contempt, exile removal on creatures, planeswalkers, gaining some life. A couple copies here of Eldest Reborn, obviously works great against mid-range style lists. We have tons of removal, things like that, so even against aggro style lists, there's definitely a reasonable chance we can get rid of their last creature with this as well. 2 copies here of Chandra. 2/+1 ability is pretty sweet. If you're in top deck mode, you can just +1 to discard your hand and exile the top 3 cards and cast those cards. Obviously the +1 to 2 damage to any target is pretty sweet as well, since we're trying to ping our opponent's life total down. Angrath's similar function here, +1 to make your opponent discard a card and lose 2 life. Even if they don't discard, they're still going to lose 2 life, so don't have to worry about that. -3 to gain control of a creature until end of turn, gains haste. You have to sacrifice it if it has mana cost 3 or less. So it just says any target creature, so if you are running creatures, you can definitely do Angrath on your own, which can be relevant, but obviously we're not doing that in this list, but it's something to keep in mind if you want to build around Angrath and some other style of decks. And -8, each opponent loses life equal to the number of cards in their graveyard. Obviously it's very difficult to get to Angrath's -8, but yeah, just a +1, pinging your opponent's life total. Chandra doing the same thing, and then Captive Audience and Cruel Reality can be pretty debilitating for your opponent. And finally, for some additional oomph, we got 2 copies here of Liliana Dreadhorde General, because why not? Super powerful. Makes 2/2 zombies that can protect your planeswalkers. Draws you a card if your opponent's going to be killing your zombie tokens, or if you block and your zombie dies in combat, we get to still draw some cards. Alright, so mana base here, we've got 25 lands, 2 Castle Locthwain, 6 Swamp, 2 Mountain, 4 Blood Crypt, 4 Dragonskull Summit, 4 Temple of Malice. So all the fixing here, just the minimum number of mountains. 1 Arch of Orazca for some additional card draw in the late game. Taps for colorless, and we can pay 5 to draw a card, but only if we have the City's Blessing. We're late game deck, so we're gonna get to that pretty consistently, unless we just get absolutely destroyed by some perfect start on the aggro list, but that happens. And then finally here, 2 copies of Field of Ruin. Having some additional interaction for your opponent's non-basic lands is super important. Obviously we don't have to worry about Field of the Dead, thankfully it's been banned again, but there's still plenty of flip lands, castles, the Adanto, the first fort, Search for Azcanta, plenty of other flip lands you have to worry about as well. So having some interaction for those is super important. Sideboard here, we got 4 Duress. Not really Thoughtseize because we do want to kind of preserve our life total a little bit. And Duress basically just fills that same function anyways. I mean, we're not really worried about creatures necessarily when we want to bring in Duress. I'd rather just have more removal. So Duress works just fine. A couple copies here of Grafdigger's Cage is a must, obviously, for goblins and things like that. 2 copies here of Necromentia. There's so many linear strategies in Historic, so Necromentia can kind of hit your opponent's biggest threat. And just exile it all from their opponent's hand, library, and graveyard. 2 copies here of Pharika's Libation for some enchantment interaction, or some additional creature interaction as well in the form of sacrifice. 2 copies here of Ashiok. You have to have some graveyard removal as well. You do mill your opponent 4 cards for what it's worth, or you can mill yourself, but we don't have any benefit to that. And then we exile our opponent's graveyard, and sometimes the passive can be relevant, having your opponent not be able to search their library. One of Thought Distortion, there's obviously some fair number of control decks that just want to play the draw-go game. This can be countered, and then it exiles all their planeswalkers and removal spells and things like that. And then final here, 2 copies of Chandra. Obviously works great against the controlled list because she can't be countered, and she gives your opponent an emblem with her +2. She can also be a kind of a board wipe with her -3. And of course the -X is exile removal as well. So pretty fantastic card all around. So that's the list. We'll jump into some matches, see how it goes. Alright, against Kawaii L or something like that. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to try it. Not a great hand, but we got the Temple, we got the Castle Locthwain to draw. Alright, Bedevil's pretty solid there. Scoured Barrens. Alright, so Orzhov life gain. So we'll play the Blood Crypt here, nothing to target just yet. Alright, well, we'll just get another Blood Crypt down. Alright, more land's not what we want to see. We just have a couple kill spells to kind of stall out our opponent. Hopefully they're playing creatures. Assume they are if they're running Scoured Barrens. Assume it's just some kind of a life gain strategy. And Johnny's Pride Mates and vetoes and all that. All that kind of shenanigans. I'll just summit here. Fast turn. Alright, another Changer's Edict isn't terrible. Heliod. Well, that kind of sucks. We have Libation in the sideboard. I'll hit them for 2, back to 20. So indestructible means it's going to get around Bedevil. Conclave Tribunal. So you're just life gain control. That's super annoying. We'll Field of Ruin. We'll go ahead and get rid of the castle. Unfortunately, we can't Edict because the Heliod is not a creature because I don't have Devotion yet. So we're just Orzhov life gain enchantment control. That's pretty annoying, especially for Rakdos. It's gonna be hard for us to deal with. We'd have 2 libations for what it's worth, but if they're running this many enchantments, it's gonna be hard. Well, we'll get a creature off the board. Unfortunately, Changer's Edict is a sorcerer speed, but they don't have haste or anything, so we can still deal with this 2/2. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're still 3 permanents away from the city's blessing, so we need some planeswalkers out. We have 2 more lands, so we're looking at 9. Fortunately, they were able to answer our Chandra immediately. Quendi. Wow, not a card you see very often at all. And they are comboing off here. Not much we can do about that. All these enchantments giving them devotion, but they're going to go away here soon. Alright, we'll Edict. So this should slow down their devotion a little bit. Plus the Benalia was going to go away as well. so we can Edict, and we have exactly 3 mana open to Davriel. Hopefully get like another Conclave, Tribunal, whatever it is they're holding up. Just a land. So maybe the last spell is a removal spell. We hit them for 2. They get a counter on their Heliod, but then the Benalia goes away, so no more devotion. They have another one. And a Danitha. They're just attacking our life total, sure. Vraska's Contempt. Alright, so we can exile that. Gain 2. Pass the turn. So we have City's Blessing now, but not in a good spot because they're about to get Benalia to go off. Alright, we got the jank over there, but yeah, just weren't able to find enough removal. Obviously, so many lands in our opening hand wasn't really helpful. Like these might be a little bit too slow. Might just have to play more of a normal game. Sucks. Obviously, want to showcase these cards, and being able to force into dropping these doesn't feel good. Maybe we'll keep them. We'll get rid of the Eldest Reborns. We'll drop the Ill-Gotten Inheritance. Maybe a little cute against them. We'll Necromentia though. There's certainly some juicy targets we can hit with that. History of Benalia, Heliod, that sort of thing. Even their enchantment removal. Chandra is tempting. Alright, we'll shave 1 Davriel for 1 Chandra. We'll try it like that. So we'll keep our enchantments in here at our top end. And hopefully we can just find our removal to get there. Alright, double Languish. There we go. That's what we needed last game. Not all those stinking lands. Our opponent with the jank, but man, they got us big time. Yeah, we'll keep all the removal we can. Obviously, Heliod's super annoying being indestructible, but we have some ways of dealing with that with the Vraska's Contempt. And now we got Libation out of the sideboard. Knight of Malice. Protection from black. We'll Davriel. Kind of hang on to this Bedevil. If they want to swing into Davriel, that's fine. We just want them to keep adding to the board so we can get a better Languish. So we have 2 Bedevils, 2 Languish, so we can we have some options next turn. We'll see what they do. Castle Locthwain, gonna give them some nice late game value. We do have those Field of Runes though. General Kudro. And all 4 of that to hit our Davriel. Sweet. So we're still at 20. And they have empty board, 3 cards in hand, another Languish, and 2 Bedevils. So we're in a decent spot. I'd like to find some card draw, some Planeswalkers, something like that would be nice. Opponent's got nothing. I'm just holding up some Conclave Tribunals, some Sagas over there. Come on, opponent. I mean, if we're just drawing all the spot removal and lands, then obviously that's not doing us a whole lot of good. Well, there's a Chandra. We'll get rid of this Knight. Hidden M for 2 doesn't do enough. We want to get that creature off the board, especially with Hexproof from black. Obviously, it doesn't matter against Languish, but we can't target with Bedevil. There's their Conclave. Yep, and that was coming. And it's a Duress. Well, there to Languish. Don't really care too much about that. Yeah, play land. Obviously, having a Chandra to stick around would have been amazing, but of course they have the Tribunal. Just gonna make a bunch of 1/1s. I'll let those resolve. Temple, alright, well, let's get to Scry. Yeah, that's pretty good. Gets around Duress. Now we're going to draw it next turn, so we'll see what our opponent does. Just going to make another token. 1 card in hand. We got one Bedevil, we got a Liliana coming, so we'll fire this off. We'll make a 2-2. See if they have another exile removal here. Danitha. And what's your last card, opponent? You know I have a Bedevil. What's your last card? I'm not going to play it. Well, minus. Draw a card. Arch of Orazca is pretty good. Alright, well, Angrath, get rid of your last card. And we have a Bedevil open. Another Danitha. Okay. So we're in a decent spot from here now. 2 Planeswalkers, even if they have removal for 1. It's alright. Alright, so we have Hexproof in black now. Gonna make another token. Sure. Plus. No fire. Hit you for 2. Hold plus. Alright, so we can draw with Arch of Orazca now, or we can just Bedevil the 1/1. Obviously we can't target the Knight of Grace since it has Hexproof. So we're not in too much danger of losing our Liliana. Well, we got the Conclave. Pretty lucky draw. What are they targeting? Angrath. Okay. Let's see. Kill the token. We'll kill the token and we'll block the Knight of Grace. First strike is going to kill it, but we get to draw a card. Another Liliana. Alright, we got mana open to activate our Orazca as well. Chandra, Awakened Infernos. Pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, we'll plus. Play Chandra, plus again. So we give them an emblem, see if they have removal for it. Then we at least have them 1 emblem to put them on a clock. If they exile our Liliana, then we have a backup. Alright, so we fought through those Conclave Tribunals, and we got there. Well, felt pretty good. So run it back. Obviously, the Languish is pretty clutch there. Didn't have as impactful as start. Well, they started off kind of slow, but then they had a pretty nice recovery with all those sagas, Heliod, and things like that. And that all the removal when we finally got our Planeswalkers down. Obviously, we had tons of lands. But yeah, much better showing here in Game 2. And hopefully we have a good Game 3, which can kind of do our thing and see what happens. Obviously, the aggro list that's going to be on the play here, so they're going to have the pretty big advantage. But hopefully, we can find some sweepers and some good removal spells and dodge their Duresses and whatnot. We only saw the 1 Duress that game, so I'm not sure how many they're running. One land. Can't keep that. Captive at 7 mana is a little bit too much to keep in our open hand, so we will drop that off. Alright, so we got the Temple for the Scry, we got Castle Locthwain, can potentially draw us cards later. Davriel can be a nice distraction. Also getting some cards out of their hand. Yeah, we'll take a Bedevil. Temple with all these tap lands. Temple and Scoured Barrens, not ideal for an aggro list. Turn 3 Duress, gotta love it. And no creatures from the aggro opponent. Down goes Davriel. We'll play the Swamp that they know about, play the Davriel. It's not super critical to our strategy, but hopefully we can maybe get rid of something we don't like. Maybe even a land might slow them down later on. Baneslave. Ooh, that was pretty clutch. You're gonna fire off the Conclave on our Davriel.
This has been
You got it. Play the castle they know about. Pass turn. Could draw and take 5. Maybe. We'll see what they do. If they're not playing creatures, then it might be worth it just to guarantee we curve out into Liliana. Most likely, though, they play a creature and give us a Bedevil target. If they have like a Duress and a creature, we can still have a way to deal with it. Okay, that's pretty powerful. So let's preserve our life total here. Alright, we do need a 6 land here. Chandra is pretty nice, though. Not gonna lie. History of Benalia. I don't love that. Do not love that. I think we just Bedevil here. If we do miss land drops, we still have Bedevils. That's an interesting choice here. Do we fire off the Libation to get something back? I'm guessing the Heritage is what they would sacrifice. So we'll hold on to it for now. I think I'd rather this Benalia kind of get off the board first. Obviously they're running enough enchantments that it's going to be a little bit tricky to get the value you want, but it at least gives us something. Alright, so they got a 2/2 Knight. We'll see what else they do. I'm not sure why you're looking at our Davriel under your Conclave Tribunal. Nothing. If they're not going to do anything, we'll fire off this Bedevil on their Knight. Knight of Malice. You got it. Alright, we'd love to find a land here. If we find a land, then we can just Liliana or Chandra to wipe the board. Let's Libation and see what they do. Don't want to use Bedevil if we don't have to. Liliana or Chandra can both answer this board state. Okay, so no Benalia gives us some breathing room. We don't have the one Chandra that we sideboarded in. We do have another Liliana, so if they do have an answer for it, which they most likely do, since we haven't really been giving them any targets for their Conclave Tribunals. We will -4 to get rid of these 2 creatures. Absolutely worth it with the Duelist Heritage on board. Especially they'll just exile it. Oh, D-Spark. Yep. That works. But you lose your creatures still. That's pretty cheeky. 1 card in hand. Another Conclave Tribunal. Oh boy. Necromentia. What do we name? Whatever do we name with Necromentia? History of Benalia? Conclave Tribunal? Let's name Conclave. Get rid of the removal. Opponent Library. They just have 2 more. Just a bunch of Knights, Sagas, another D-Spark, another Duress, Cujo. Oh, they have Ixalan's Binding. Have to be careful of that. So we got a Bedevil, so if they do play this Arvad, we just kill it. There you go. So they found their other Duress. Chandra, sure. It sucks, but it is what it is. They don't want to play their Arvad. Alright, pass turn. We're trying to play around this Bedevil, but they're just giving us time to find our Planeswalkers and hopefully our enchantments. And the Planeswalkers are nice value, but we definitely want to win with our enchantments if we can find them. So we bottomed a Captive Audience earlier, so that's at the bottom still. So they're just going to fire that off. Yeah, we'll fire it off. They wanted us to get the Bedevil out of our hand. So these are both sorcery, so we'll probably just draw here and take 3. We're at 20, and they haven't actually been able to pressure us, so that's fine. Sure, you can exile my graveyard, don't care. Yeah, pick whatever, dude. Oh, they're being real careful about what they want to take. You got it. Yep, get rid of that Chandra. Makes sense. Alright, let's draw a card. Take 3. I'll do another Chandra. Yeah, Chandra's Edict. 5-mana open. Play Chandra. And they're in top deck mode. And we've got a Planeswalker out. Even if they have a Duress, we have a Edict that we can flashback. They found a D-Spark. Man, you are lucky over there with those draws. You are super lucky. We'll pass. We'll just castle on their end step. Our opponent is top decking like a champion over there. That's insane. Found D-Sparks, we didn't get any additional value off of our Chandra. Like, come on. They don't seem to run any Planeswalkers, so we'll fire off this. Alright, Chandra number 2. I love to find our enchantments though, but our opponent might just concede. Land, perfect. Alright, play you. We'll actually +1 to discard. Get 3 spells. Okay, don't need Languish right now. Sucks to lose it, but hey. Well, plus.
Never no fire, no steel.
No fire, no steel. Alright, so we lose our Languish, but we're fine. Libation. Sack a creature. Discard, lose 2. We'll plus to hit you for 2 more, since we have some mana open, but we'll wait till next turn. A Baneslayer, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But yeah, we have the Chandra's Edict. We're at 15, so we can easily just draw with our castle there. Sure, we lose a life, but then if nothing else, we can just fire off this Chandra's Edict with flashback. We'd also just plus and try to draw into some removal with Chandra. Angrath can steal it. It doesn't get sacrificed, but we can hit them for 5. And then gain 5. Not sure that's quite worth it, but it does put us in a pretty commanding spot. But then they just swing back at us with double strike. That's pretty bad. So yeah, we definitely need removal to deal with that, but we had the Chandra's Edict, and that's why this card is so good, but you have to be playing the right deck to get value off of it. Alright, up against whatever. I love that. Respect on the name there. Oh boy. Double Liliana is pretty sexy. So it is a 6 drop, and we just have the 1 removal spell. I don't know. We're gonna keep it. Don't know if I can lose these Lilianas that easily. But we'll see. We could just get run over by some aggro matchup. Alright, nothing yet. Fortunately, no creature to Edict there. We have a Paradise Druid, perfect. Oh, we'll definitely get rid of that. Phyrexian Arena is good too. But yeah, I'd rather just get rid of the Druid. That way, slow down our opponent's ramp. Probably just Arena here. Oh, Marwyn. So I think we're drawing tons of cards. So we want to draw some cards too, make sure we curve out, find some Languish and things like that. Beast Whisper. Eldest Reborn seems pretty reasonable in this spot. Don't think they want to give up Marwyn, but we can get rid of the Beast Whisperer. So it gets rid of their card draw. Oh, they do lose the Marwyn. They have another one? If they just play another Marwyn here, then we can Liliana and minus. That feels pretty good. Gemrazor. Gonna get rid of... Well, they're both pretty reasonable targets. Eldest Reborn? Yeah, they're both good targets. What do you want? Makes sense. And a Llanowar. And we desperately need either another land here or a sweeper effect. We get 2 looks at 1. Dragonskull Summit. Beautiful. Well, you know what we're going to do here? -4. Okay, Eldest Reborn did his job. Kept our arena Phyrexian Arena alive and got rid of their Marwyn. 4 cards in hand. We have a Liliana, a Davriel, a Rampage. Okay, Nylea. Seems pretty cute. I don't know about this. The opponent's got some really cute list going on over there. We're gonna make them sack their Archdruid. We'll hold on to the Contempt for the Nylea if they get that going. So minus on Davriel. They got 2 cards in hand. Another Beast Whisperer. Nice. Alright, make sure we activate Liliana, get a 2/2. Start pinging you down for 2. Alright, so the arena, obviously we're taking damage from that. And our opponent's Gemrazor. Platinum Angel. So they're like, why are you doing this cute elf ball thing? Like, if you just played regular elf ball, you probably would have just ran us over by now. But you want to be cute. We could have shocked it in, just get a Ill-Gotten down, but you know, they're just yeah. There's our opponent with a cute deck. Alright, any Necromentia targets might want to bring in? Obviously Nylea is pretty annoying. We do have the Contempt. Don't like Gemrazor. Obviously don't like Gemrazor. Beast Whisperer. They can really go off with card draw, so maybe Davriel isn't amazing. Ill-Gotten probably not quite good enough either. Let's bring in the Necromentia. They have some juicy targets, so we can hit with that. Davriel's pretty medium. Maybe we'll just shave 1 for 1 Chandra. She's a 6-mana walker against what could be a pretty powerful start. Maybe we want to bring in both Chandras. Well, we'll try like this though. This seems fine. We didn't see any enchantments to bring in our Libation. That's the only other maybe card we could look at. But yeah, we just want Languish here. Some target removal for their better creatures. Alright, so we got Davriel or Arena here. Alright, we got the turn on Llanowar Elf, so this could be a short matchup. Looking for lands. We'll take a Swamp. Turn 1 Llanowar, turn 2 Paradise Druid. So, pretty powerful start from our opponent so far. Alright, Incubation Druids. They got all the mana dorks, but don't seem like they have much juice in their hand. Let's play the Davriel. I'm not sure I want to get the arena online just yet since we don't have a sweeper effect. So, get rid of the land. Carnage Tyrants. We don't really have answers for that. We do not have answers for that. If we can wipe the board, we can make them sacrifice it, but... Nyxbloom Ancient. Why are you playing this cute deck, opponent? I don't understand. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, they got a Carnage Tyrant down super early. We don't have a sweeper effect. The only thing is maybe just get rid of Paradise Druid. Slow him down a little bit, gain us some life. Great Henge. I mean, the Rampage can take care of that, but this is going to be super clunky to try to get up to that point. And we have no real way of dealing with this Carnage Tyrant at this moment. So we're taking 9, we're staring down 9 points of damage next turn. We have to have Languish just to have a chance. And even then we're still staring at 7 points at least. So they have to have land in hand and draw land, basically. A ley line. That works. Yeah, Eldest Reborn, much better. So obviously Arena would have killed us, so good thing we did not play that when we did. So that's not really going to be coming into action anytime soon. What are you doing, opponent? Why are you playing this janky, this super janky list over there? Alright. Sack an artifact. We should have just bedeviled the Great Henge, that might have been better. Yeah, not playing the arena at 2 life here. Gigantosaurus. Alright, so now we have some creature removal still. This is a 5-drop. We'll play Eldest Reborn again. That worked out pretty well last time. Alright, Beast Whisperer. They got tons of card draw now. We need to slow this down. Alright, I think we just have to deal with this Great Henge. We're staring at lethal though. God, we just can't get rid of these. They're just one step ahead of us. Them going first and us not drawing lands. If we could have another land here, we could Liliana and make them sack their creatures. We have to get this Great Henge. That's going to get them back into this game, and we just cannot keep up. So we have to kill this Beast Whisperer, otherwise we're just dead on board. We have to get rid of this Great Henge though, because they're just going to outvalue us. Can't attack. So we just need them to whiff and have some way to deal with this Great Henge. They're putting all the mana out there for a Nyxbloom Ancient. So once again, we need some way to deal with this board state. And we have to get this Great Henge off the board. We've had to use all these other spells. Unfortunately, I've had to use all of these other spells, so we haven't been able to answer this Great Henge. Safe play would have been to Liliana, but we got some beefy creatures on board, so we'll try to keep them around. So we're gonna get rid of the last card in hand, and just hope they keep whiffing. I mean, this is a super uphill climb, but we're gonna fight the good fight. Doesn't look promising, but we're going to try it.
No fire, no steam.
Okay, they lose a Blast Zone. I mean, I guess that gives them some way to deal with us. Maybe just get rid of the Ancient would have been the better play, so they don't go off with Leyline of Abundance. Okay, they got Growing Rights online. So we might just have to Liliana just to get this stuff off the board. Okay, they can Elder Gargaroth here. I mean, left game's annoying, but we just need to control this board. I mean, not being able to answer this Great Henge is super frustrating. We had the Bedevils and things like that. They had the stupid Helm of the Host. Like, come on, opponent. So much greed. What are you doing over there? I mean, we have to answer this Bloom Ancient, because that's going to give them tons of value. It has Trample, too, so I mean, they can just sink a ton of counters into it. But this Gargaroth is also a big deal as well. Let's get rid of the last card. We've just been so close, man. This is just so frustrating. We've had answers. We just had to expend them on stuff, and they're just like the super greedy pseudo elf ball mono green whatever list. All right, so we get a little bit of breathing room with Contempt. We can get rid of their heroic intervention, but they just have so much mana with this Nyxbloom Ancient, Leyline of Abundance stuff going on. So I'm not sure they quite have enough to punch through for lethal, but it's getting a little bit too close for comfort. Flying. Are you serious? Our opponent making their jank work big time. I mean, props to you, but it's just frustrating because you play something like this, you get your butt kicked every single time. But then their opponent goes, no problem. No problem. Alright, props to you for opponent. You made it work. We had answers, but just didn't quite get there in time. Super greedy list. Nyxbloom Ancients, Great Hinges, Growing Rites, Platinum Angel, Achroma's Memorial. Like, come on, dude. All the greed over there, and they got paid off big time. We had answers, just could not get there. Alright. It was a close game. We'll give it that. Finally get our Cruel Reality. Made a Cruel Reality deck, and we finally get it. But we're probably going to die before we get there. We'll see, though. Alright, discard. You want to kill our Davriel? Fine. That was it. Card advantage proved pretty huge in that last game. Phyrexian Arena maybe could have drawn us out of it, but also would have killed us as well. So down goes Davriel. We'll sack the creature. Maybe the artifact 8 would have been better, but at this stage we need to. We need to preserve our life total and just buy ourselves as much time as possible. We do have the 6 lands this time, 4 in play, 2 in hand, so we just need our planeswalkers and good removal spells so we can actually do stuff. Nylea. My phone's going off a little bit. Good Angrath and steal the Archdruid. We'll just Contempt it. I mean, it gets around Heroic Intervention anyway with Exile, but just do it now. Could be another target might feel bad, like that. All right, play you. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We already have 7 lands for the Cruel Reality next turn. Oh man. Do we steal the Llanowar? Or do we make them discard? If they don't have another creature, we can Cruel Reality. Well, I think Cruel Reality is going to wear them down anyway, so let's force a discard. If they want to swing 5 at Angrath, so be it. Alright, Achroma's Memorial. Man, all the greed, opponent. You know, pump up your Blast Zone. Carnage Tyrant. That doesn't feel good. Okay, Cruel Reality, they sack the Llanowar. But getting rid of the Memorial was pretty important, though. So, Cruel Reality. On you. We're taking 12. That doesn't feel good. Or 11, I guess. They're going to sack the Llanowar. Alright. We have a Bedevil for this Platinum Angel. Oh man. Alright, Languish. So that turns off Nylea, and they have to sack the Carnage Tyrant next turn. Bye. Alright, we have Bedevil open as well. And Beast Whisperer. Alright, we have to get rid of that. Whew. Our opponent has just had all of the lucky draws. They're a long way from blowing up our Cruel Reality. So let's go and just play this. Might need the mana open later. Alright, take 5. And if they do try sinking mana into it, we can feel to ruin it. But we'll wait. We'll wait until we have to. We might want to hit a Castle Garenbrig or something. Just a forest. Okay, they can dig for a creature with Nylea. Just a forest. Activate again. Okay, you're tapped out so you can't cast. Just a Paradise Druid anyway. Oh, 6 mana. Do we dare cast this? 6 life, I mean. Obviously not 6 mana. We have all the mana. Okay, so our opponent's on a 3-turn clock. We're on a 6-turn clock. We've seen they can chain some stuff together. Alright, we're gonna try it. We are gonna try it. We have the cool reality ticking away. We're gonna go for it. It's a draw. We're no fear in this dojo. No fear in this dojo. We're gonna go for it. Phyrexian Arena. 6 life. No problem. Paradise Druid. Carnage Tyrant. That's pretty insane. Jewel. We did everything we could. Our opponent just got super lucky. Our opponent got super lucky, and we got super screwed there. It's always frustrating when these greedy decks get paid off like this. Like, come on, dude. Platinum Angel, Akoma's Memorial. I mean, these are good cards, but how do you actually win in ranked play with these? I mean, they kicked our butts, so I guess it's on me. I mean, maybe they sacked the Carnage Tyrant. We gave ourselves a chance with the arena, but we drew 2 lands. And they found another creature to play, and one of their better ones at that. So we need them. We just need them top deck lands. The game's over, but you're still gonna dig for creatures. Cool. All right, opponent, you got super lucky there. Good game. Good game. Super greedy list. That was close. We had a chance, but straws are not in our favor. Feels bad. Alright, so we finally got our Cruel Reality online, but yeah, we just drew lands. Maybe Ill-Gotten Inheritance should just be something else instead. Maybe some more Languishes or something like that. Extinction Event, things like that. Obviously, the upside of being able to kill your opponent and gain life to counteract the Phyrexian Arena is pretty nice, because obviously this game, this deck does want to kind of go into the late game. And then we have lots of Planeswalkers that give us tons of value and can kind of be a distraction or a win con, however it works out. And then hopefully we can get there with the Cruel Reality. We just got to cast it and got to do some things with that in action. You've probably seen Captive Audience by now. Super sweet card, but it's expensive and just a one-of because they don't really work well in multiples. But yeah, just want to really showcase Cruel Reality. Fortunately, didn't get to do as much as I would have liked to, but I think you guys get the idea. So yeah, super fun list with the Planeswalkers and the top end of Cruel Reality as our kind of our real win condition. At least I like to think of it that way. But obviously, Planeswalkers can be impactful enough. But hopefully, your opponent just distracts and tries to kill them and not deal with your auras, so that when you play these down, they're not going to deal with it. And yeah, you can try to control the board. Super frustrating that last matchup with your opponent just drawing all the creatures in the world and you just drawing lands. Phyrexian Arena was a little bit of our downside. You let me down this time. But yeah, normally it's a super sweet card. But yeah, that's why it's just a 2 of, because you do want to preserve your life total. Sideboard seems pretty reasonable. Kind of depends on what your matchups that you're seeing, obviously. But yeah, you do want some kind of enchantment hate, because obviously shrines are a thing. Mono white is a thing, obviously, and that sort of thing. We obviously have the artifact hate in the main deck, which form Bedevil and Angrath's Rampage, so then you can come in pretty clutch. There's lots of artifacts that are relevant. Embercleave, Great Henge, etc. I do like Duress over the Thoughtseize, because obviously our life total was super important there. So Thoughtseize taking 2 life would just not cutting it in a lot of those matchups. So I think Duress is just where you want to be, even though obviously Thoughtseize is generally the better card. And then Necromentia can be pretty clutch against obviously all those linear types of strategies. And of course the Chandras is obviously super important here as well, I think. Thought Distortion can kind of be whatever. You need some Graveyard hate, so I think Ashiok is kind of the best answer for that. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, make sure you jank with the